Hello, everybody. My name is David, and today I am going to talk about the recognition and change of habits, or rather, habitual patterns. When we learn to control our day to day habits, we learn to better our lives. Let's take video games, for example. Imagine if you replaced video games in reading books. Believe it or not, I did that. I no longer play video games. And believe it or not, you can do it as well. You already proved yourself that you can make new habits in your life, just as you did with video games. If you made video games such a passionate habit, you can do the same thing with meditating, working out, reading books, even studying, whatever you'd think of. Imagine if instead of reaching for that phone, you would reach for a book instead. Firstly, there's a concept I really want you to understand. We, as humans, we create our reality. Don't worry, I'm not gonna talk about any manifestation or the secret thing. Well, maybe it's kind of manifesting your reality to make it a better reality, but it's not the law of attraction in any way. No one can change his life without taking action. That is definitely correct. You cannot change your life just with your thoughts. You and I, we are both images of God. We create our own divine reality. Many religious people try to negate me on this one. I'm not quite the religious person, but let's dive into something real quick. I'm gonna quote something from the Bible, and the same thing goes in the Torah and the Quran, so you might want to listen to this. Describing God's creation of human beings, Genesis 1:26 says, God said, let us make humans in our image, according to our likeness. He's talking about how he's gonna make the humans an image of himself. In Hebrew or the Torah, it says, Nivrenu b'tzelem Elohim. Tzelem is an image, Elohim is God. So we were made in an image of God. So all of you religious people, do you really think Allah or God or Elohim would say stuff like, it's impossible, I am not good enough, I could never do that? Well, obviously he wouldn't. God is a creator of it all. So, let me tell you something. You are a creator of your own reality. You are the creator of this divine reality. Although, this channel is not about religion, it is definitely not. It's about gaining knowledge and becoming a better person as a whole. Take a moment to acknowledge this. Nobody is born intelligent. Nobody is born smart. Nobody is born muscular. Nobody is born strong. We all start as simple and stupid human beings. Before we move on, let's clear something out. For the people who don't know what the subconscious and conscious mind is. Basically, the conscious mind contains all of the thoughts, memories, feelings, and wishes of which we are aware of any moment. On the other hand, the unconscious mind is the reservoir of the feelings, the thoughts, the urges, and the memories that are outside of the conscious mind. The very first step to changing habitual patterns is to realize that you 100% can. Believe me, I'm not an intelligent person, I'm not that smart, I'm not smarter than any of you are. But I 100% believe that I can change my habitual patterns. And just this may be what you are missing. After realizing that we can change our habitual patterns, you must realize this. We are not usually aware of our destructive habits. Most smokers don't even think about the cigarette they are pulling out of the case. Most gamers don't even think that, hey, I am right now playing video games. They simply do it. They simply have a nice time. They don't think about the consequences. Well, they might think about the consequences, but they don't really acknowledge what they're doing. They are not aware of what they are doing. Smokers might know that they have a bad habit or addiction, but think of it. Are they aware of it most of the time? Obviously not. Awareness is the key to changing habits. Every addition of knowledge is transitioning the subconscious mind to the conscious mind. This quote was taken by Friedrich Nietzsche, which tells us that the knowledge can let us control our subconscious mind. If we only get the knowledge that could help us transition the subconscious mind to the conscious mind, we are 100% capable of changing the habitual patterns. You must be fully aware of a habit that is taking place in your life. Being aware of something is a kind of mindfulness. Try this simple exercise to be more mindful. I want you to have a dialogue in your brain. I want you to think to yourself, what am I doing right now? For example, right now I'm talking to this camera, I'm talking to this microphone, which are both ways to indirectly speak to my lovely audience that I'm very grateful that are listening to me right now. Thank you very much. Let's move on. This is a great daily practice to become a more mindful person. This reminds me of a quote I really like by Amit Ray, which goes by the title of Spiritual Master. This quote basically says, life is a dance, and being mindful is experiencing and being aware of that dance. The subconscious mind is only dangerous when it's fed lies in an uncontrollable way. This was said by Carl Jung, a psychiatrist and psychoanalyst. Both of these great teachers, Nietzsche and Jung, announced that you may change habitual patterns and tendencies which were subconscious to the mind just by making it conscious, just by being conscious and aware of the habitual patterns that you're having. The lean on making excuses is dangerous and it's feeding lies to your subconscious mind. What you say to yourself, or rather what you think, is very important. Your subconscious mind is fed by your conscious mind. I can quote myself on this, and I have always told myself this: you are what you think you are. I suggest you make up a quote that you could remember easily. It should go something like this: I am the creator of my own reality. Another variable for that is this one. It is definitely possible for me to enter the realms of my mind and easily change my habitual patterns. A very big mistake I see with people who try to change their habits is this. They are trying to cut it too fast. They are trying to cut their habits instantly. While this might work for some people, and this has worked for me in the past, with smoking for example, habits are built through ages. They are built by becoming a conditioning in your life. I see a lot of people trying to quit stuff altogether. Again, let's take smoking, and they just relapse in the second day or in a few hours, maybe. They always seem to relapse. This is a very common problem with people who have destructive habitual patterns. If this has ever happened to you, it's because you're creating too much resistance and tension on your brain, which was fed by so many lies and excuses, is sure that smoking cigarettes is good for you. So you can't tell your brain in one day, all of the sudden cigarettes is really bad and you want to quit. All this time you were making excuses. Some people are smoking for 30 years and they just expect to stop smoking in one day or even a week. This might take a lot more time. This might take months. Let me give you this piece of advice. What you can do to cut the destructive habit without creating tension and resistance on your brain. Let's take video games for example. If you're one of those guys who plays a lot of video games every single day, try this. Instead of playing 9 hours of video games a day, you are gonna want to try to cut it down to 8 hours. The next day, try to cut it down to 7 hours. The next day, try to cut it down to 6 hours. And keep repeating the process until you only end up with 1 hour of video games a day, which is also not recommended. I really don't recommend playing video games. That thing definitely ruins your dopamine levels. They are ruining by stimulating your brain so much. They are meant to be addictive, but that's definitely something for another video. Another example is for smoking. Try to limit yourself to 1 cigarette an hour. So you smoke a cigarette, after that you must wait another hour before you smoke another one. And then you up it to 2 hours, and then 3 hours. Repeat the process until you easily notice that you have stopped smoking. You can't quit anything if you wouldn't want to quit it. Someone that doesn't want to quit will never quit. No therapist can help an alcoholic who doesn't want to help himself, who doesn't want to quit drinking alcohol. If you watch through the whole video, You obviously want to quit something. If you watched through the whole video, you obviously want to destruct a destructive habitual pattern. You want to stop doing something in order to better your life. So I am very proud of you. I love you very much. Keep on going, keep on moving forward, like that one Sylvester Stallone quote. I wish you could realize how happy I am to know that you are in the beginning of your journey to changing that destructive habit. It's already enough to truly want something to achieve it. Okay, guys, I'm gonna wrap this up for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope I was helpful just a little bit. I hope I made your life just a little bit better. You are definitely who you want to be.